Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. I didn't even want to open like that. Honestly, this is going to be a difficult video, to be honest with you. I so wanted to enjoy this book, and this is going to be hard not to rant. The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown. The Secret of Secrets. There's going to be a lot of alliteration because The Secret of Secrets sucked. Or maybe we say, The Secret of Secrets. I'm secretly glad I didn't pay that $38 for the freaking hardback at Barnes & Noble. This is going to be difficult. Stick around. So yeah, welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. I laugh because this is going to be difficult, but yeah. I was really excited to get to this thing. It came out in September 9th, 2025. If you saw a previous video where I talked about, or I just said about the $38 at hardback at Barnes & Noble, yeah, that is not an embellishment. That's fact. I'm glad I waited. I got this on Audible. And I did so because, one, I didn't want to spend $40 on a hardback book. I think that's stupid. That's me. So I got it on Audible so I can also kind of just digest and consume this as I see fit. I had a huge TBR at the time. I wanted this as a supplement because I was excited. I didn't want to miss out on my chance to get to this pretty, upon release. And so over the course of the last month or so, I've been digesting this thing, trying to take little bites of it. And it's been a struggle. I'll be honest with you. I had about a third of it left. I was considering DNFing it, honestly. And I pushed on in hopes that the last third was going to land, and it kind of really didn't. But yeah, we'll talk about it. So what's the summary of The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown? So obviously we have a Professor Robert Langdon. He's accompanying a noetic scientist by the name of Catherine Sullivan, Dr. Catherine Sullivan. They're heading to Prague. Catherine is giving a lecture. You realize kind of some backstory and a little bit of flashbacks and whatever, that Catherine and Langdon are romantically involved. Didn't really care about that. What it is what it is. But Catherine's research is into human consciousness, past, present, future, and how that works, and trying to basically challenge in her research, centuries old beliefs and scientific fact around human consciousness. And she is challenging that, being a noetic scientist. And she's getting ready to publish a book. She's working with a gentleman by the name of Fachman in New York. And so we bounce around between Prague, where they're at doing the lecture, and New York. And some stuff starts happening. And you're like, why are they going after Fachman? Why are they trying to hack and remove her book? And all the while, Catherine disappears. And there's Robert Langdon thinks there's a bomb threat at the hotel they're staying. All the while, this kind of opens up into a traditional Robert Langdon kind of book. We're going to have chases, people after him, and figuring out things. There's going to be little secrets, little, kind of MacGyver, Indiana Jones type Robert Langdon who's going to figure some stuff out. And it's going to be interesting. And it really just fell flat for me. But that's the summary of this thing. There's also this golem creature that is kind of this human being, but it's on a divine kind of protective mission that's intertwined with Langdon and Solomon as they're trying to figure out what's going on, who's after them, why are they after her manuscript. It's why are the local authorities also kind of intertwined, and then they're trying to seek amnesty, kind of asylum at the local embassy, the American embassy in Prague, and then they don't know who they can trust. And then the head of the embassy for the American embassy there, she is somehow involved. And so it's all very interconnected. And that's kind of the summary of this thing. It's a little muddy, as obviously as I'm explaining it, but the book's muddy. So let's talk about what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the setting a lot. I like the Prague. I like the bouncing back and forth with Fachman, the editor, publisher in New York. I thought that was great. I liked Prague and some of the descriptions that Brown gives. I think he's always done a really, really good job about that. I liked the fact that we have Langdon and Catherine. And so we have two, there's always kind of Langdon and some kind of female character that is very strong, very smart. And then we get this in this story as well. I liked some of the landmarks. I liked a little bit about the noetics, but the science just is the science. I didn't care for it. It didn't really gravitate towards me. I didn't like it as much as I liked some of the religion stuff we got in like Da Vinci Code. That really I really liked and enjoyed that. Her research on consciousness is interesting at times, but at other times it's just white noise to me when I was listening to this. I liked some of the beginning. The beginning really kind of hits off really well. It definitely kind of like, okay, we're here. We got a Dan Brown, Robert Langdon story, but it really kind of fizzles out. The middle third and the last third, it just doesn't. Middle third was boring. The last third, I was hopeful it was going to hit. It just really did not. Yeah, so I guess this is a good segue for me to talk about what else I didn't like. Honestly, I just felt like this was an overbloated, overwritten story. This could have been 250 pages less. Easy. It was the whole caper, the who's involved and why, there's government, we can't let this out in the public, or how do we use this for power and prestige element that you get in almost every story that involves either the CIA or the government in some manner of speaking. And it was so overly done. Like he interwove all these plot threads, and when he had to bring them all together, you're just like, it's just chapters and chapters of like, okay, well, this has to be wrapped up and this has to be wrapped up. And it's just like, I don't care at this point, to be honest with you. So it was a muddled mess to kind of close this when I was hopeful we'd get a fast, something interesting that closes all this out in a unique way, and we didn't get it. Yeah, I didn't really even care for like how the afterward epilogue, how this may, be for the next entry. I just was really turned off by this book. In terms of rating and overall, I give it a 3.2. It's bad. It honestly is bad. Anyone that says that this is a 5-star read is obviously seeing something that I'm not. And I went into this with such high expectations. I was very happy that it was out. It was one of those new releases. I was like, oh, I got my eye on it. And yeah, it was one I was fitting in on a bunch of other reading. And so I thought it would work really well because I was going to enjoy it as well. And yeah, I ended up just having to push through this thing. The beginning third is interesting. You're getting the setup, you're getting your bearings, but then it just fizzles out to nothing. And it's just so overwritten. And I didn't have also too, and this is the last thing I'll say because I don't want this to be a complete rant video, but usually you have a quasi kind of Jason Bourne chase through the city and who's doing what and why, and a Indiana Jones kind of MacGyver-ish thing. It's all kind of works really, really well, and you just didn't have any of that. It almost was like Brown was more worried about Langdon being worried about Catherine Sullivan and vice versa in her manuscript. It just fell flat. And so, yeah, that's my take. I'm going to get off my soapbox. But yeah, The Secret of Secrets. 3.2. Robert Langdon, book number 6, published in September of 2025. If you want my recommendation, The Secret of Secrets should remain a secret, and you should secretly save your cash. And that's my review. I will talk to you later. Thanks.